Welcome to this week's episode of Car Stars and Roll Bars. I'm Mike Kenny. I have the pleasure of hosting this three-ring circus that's kind of aimed all about the car culture and what goes on in this universe. Everybody, the builders, the car shows, and every once in a while we're going to have collectors on as well. And today, man, we are truly thrilled. We have Mike Zarnock with us, and he has been at this quite a while in the world of Hot Wheels, if you will, and he's got his own show, Hot Wheels TV. So, Mike, welcome aboard. Glad to have you on the show. How's it going for you today?
Doing good, Mike. Good to see you.
Ditto, my friend. And I tell you, if and all the viewers, if you go on Wikipedia or Google somebody into Hot Wheels, I think your picture is going to come up about 22 times and nobody else, right?
Yeah, I guess I'm the guy. So, you know.
You're absolutely correct. And I've caught some of your different videos, and above and beyond being a collector, because most collectors have a passion about the collection, you truly have a passion about sharing this amazing depth and breadth of information you have with others, because I've seen some of your video clips explaining to people if they want to buy like an unpackaged car, the different things you want to look at to make sure you're getting a true product, correct?
Yeah, that's the big thing about what I do. I try to make sure that the collector is well informed. You don't want anybody getting ripped off. So, and then, of course, just like with anything else, there's a lot of people out there that try to take advantage of a collector. You know, whether you're buying a real car or a toy car, sometimes they get really expensive, and you want to make sure that you're getting what you pay for. So I do my best to inform the collector as well as I can.
And I got to be candid, Hoss. That's kind of rare because some collectors, it's almost like they want to hoard the information and maybe make theirs more rare. Before we go much further into this show, because, yeah, I can say how great it is, Mike can say how great it is, but I think we have a couple of examples we can pull on screen about, you folks might have heard of the Guinness World Record holders, and have we got a couple there close by, Rick? Yeah, there you go. So you see as a series of these, can you talk about that one that's on screen with us? It might be one of your earlier ones, I think.
I used to teach elementary school. I taught computers to all the young kids, and one day, well, actually, all the kids knew that I collect Hot Wheels because my classroom was all done up in Hot Wheels. So we were looking around, and one of the kids said, "Hey, Mr. Z, who's got the most Hot Wheels in the world?" I said, "Well, that's a real good lesson. Let's go to the internet and we'll look up the Guinness and we'll see who's got it." And it wasn't me at the time. The guy had 1,500 cars. I said, "Man, I got that beat probably right here in my classroom." So I went and I got all the information from Guinness and I counted them up and got the affidavit done. And 9 months later, they sent me the certificate.
Wow.
And it showed that I had the Guinness World Record. So
wow, and we're not done with Guinness. I think we have another recent example, Rick. I think it was called a number 2 in the slideshow that we had for our run of shows. So that's a bit more current. Is that one north of 8,000 now?
Yeah, that one's well, I got somewhere around 30,000 cars right now in my collection. Different cars.
Wow.
So yeah, that's the thing, but. The guy who holds the record now, I mean, the guy has spent millions and millions of dollars.
Oh my gosh.
He's got a big diorama. I mean, he's got a huge warehouse full of stuff. I think he's over in Germany, but it's an amazing collection. So, but yeah, I still have the world's largest Hot Wheels collection.
Right.
But that record was for the amount of different model cars.
Sure. And I remember growing up being fascinated when Ripley's Believe It or Not would come on. They'd have the great commentary and some of the B-rolls, and you'd see things that you didn't even know existed in the Western Hemisphere or probably anywhere on this planet. And I believe we have an example from Ripley's. There it is. So
yeah.
Yeah. So what's that one about? This is kind of cool.
I think it was just because of my passion and my obsession with the brand, because I eat, sleep, and drink Hot Wheels. I travel all over the country.
Right.
And it's just such a part of my life and my world. And
Well, good for
and
you,
Ripley's took note of that, so they did a full page feature of me in that book. But yeah, it's really weird how all this has come around just because I collect Hot Wheels.
Yeah. Well, I think you've
Speak,
already reflected on too is your passion for it. And we have one more from Guinness, and this is help me explain this. The most loops is that how we do this?
yeah, yeah. Well, I got a phone call from Mattel,
Right?
and they said, "Hey, can you go to the Chicago Auto Show and set a world record for the loops?" And yeah, okay.
Okay.
So I did. I went out and actually I set up like I want to say 50 loops with superchargers all through the Jaguar display, all through the cars and all over the place. And when the guy from Guinness showed up, he said, "Hey, you can't do that. It has to be gravity."
Oh.
So I spent the whole day setting this up, and now I got like 2 hours to make to set a world record.
Oh my
So
goodness.
luckily there were a whole bunch of guys there, working around that work on the sets and things, and
Sure.
we got together and he built me a ramp off of this big room that was sitting there, and I set it up and we made it
Wow.
work,
So
and
how
that
long
was it.
how long is that ramp kind of sorta? What's
The
like
building was 12 foot tall,
wow.
so that ramp was at least 15 feet.
I'll be dang.
So I put as many loops as I could on it, and it went down to the bottom, and that was it.
I'll say so just to clarify for all the hot rodders that watch this was pure gravity. There was no assisting or
Right.
accelerator.
Yep.
No, really, did
Yep.
you have to do
Yep.
anything special to the car to get it ready?
Nope. No.
Really?
No. I just used a car that I knew would work good for track sets, and
Wow.
yeah, it had a short nose on it, so it wouldn't rub against the loop when it got into the beginning of the loop. So, but yeah, worked out great.
So so what do you like best about being a collector?
Um, Meeting all the other collectors,
Cool.
seeing all of their collections. I get to see all kinds of different stuff.
Oh yeah.
Uh, of course, I even though I have the world's largest Hot Wheel collection, there's a lot of things that I don't have,
Hmm.
and when I get to see something I don't have, it's great.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So and that happens a lot. There's a lot of cars out there that I don't have. There are some track sets and things from overseas that I don't have. So, but now the cool thing with the internet is that we're seeing more and more of these
Oh yeah.
things. So I'm able to get some of them.
Perfect. So what's some of the favorite feedback from other collectors? And I know you have a huge following. So what's some of the comments you like best from them?
They like that they get to see my collection.
Cool.
When I go to all the different events, I go to the Hot Wheels conventions and the
Sure.
nationals. I hang out with them. We
Cool.
talk about Hot Wheels, talk about their collection, my collection. I'd rather talk about their collection than talk about my stuff. You know.
Good for
So,
you. Good for you.
but yeah,
Ex-
it's meeting all the other people.
Absolutely. So, Rick, if you pull up a picture, we're talking about Hot Wheels and headquarters. I think we have a pretty good example. So this is just how ate up you are with this, man. That is
Oh,
massively cool.
yeah, that's definitely one of my favorite pictures right
Oh
there.
yeah. So
Actually, when I was there doing that, um, I was hanging out with all the guys from Mattel,
right.
and uh, Jeff. Um, oh my goodness, the guy with all the puppets there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Um,
Yep.
can you hear my dogs barking up there?
Yeah, well, they're having fun. This is
Okay.
live. To me, when I go out and
Oh
shoot stuff.
no.
Yeah, I'm shooting stuff at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and I got Top Fuel going behind me, so this is nothing.
Oh man. Well, apparently somebody's at my door, probably dropping off Hot Wheels.
Probably dropping
Um,
off Hot Wheels. Huh.
so,
So I
but
gotta ask. Some people collect toaster ovens, salt and pepper shakers. What led you to becoming this Bang Zoom Hot Wheels guy?
um, my dad was a body man. I loved
Okay,
cars my whole life.
cool.
I remember as far back as 2, 3 years old, my dad would bring toys home. for me to play with, big trucks and things like
Yeah.
that. And then, we had slot cars. Actually, my dad brought home a 64 and a half Mustang slot car track from the Ford dealer because
Wow.
his body shop was across the street from the Ford dealer. So he brought that home, and I got to play with that. So I got into slot cars,
Yep.
the
Me too.
Aurora stuff.
Yep.
And uh, it just, one thing led to another. I would modify my slot cars and make them look like the cars on the street,
Cool.
and I would do model kits, things like that, the Tom Daniel stuff,
Right?
George Barris stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And then, once Hot Wheels came out, it was like, oh my goodness,
This is
there they are,
it.
superchargers and slicks and trick paint. I don't have to do this anymore. I don't have to work on them. And I could just buy them for 69 cents.
Beautiful.
And I just fell in love. I mean,
Perfect.
Ed Roth stuff,
Yep. Oh,
Cushionberry,
yeah. Yeah.
all the custom stuff that I would see on the covers of magazines. Living in New York, we got snow like 11 months out of the year. So, seeing cool cars, you're only going to see them in magazines or maybe if
point.
there's a car show that
Good
would
point.
come.
Yeah.
So here there are there's a toy, California custom toy that you can have in your hand.
Beautiful.
And yeah,
Beautiful.
it was amazing.
So we talk about amazing, Rick. I think we have a couple of shots of his office. I have, everybody's got their man cave. You got your man office, man. That is
Oh,
nuts. I love it.
thanks. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So, can you kind of give us a little version of a little narrated tour? What all is behind you, man? You got everything up there.
Well, over on the left side is the remake of the original 1968 display that you would have saw when you came into the store.
Oh my
And that
goodness.
had all 16 of the original cars in it. And for the 50th anniversary in 2018, Mattel redid that. And you could buy, I think they had like 1,000 of them,
Wow.
and I got one.
Wow.
See, next row down is the that little steering wheel there,
Right?
and the box that goes with it. It's one of the rarest toys that go along with the Hot Wheels from the from the 70s.
Right.
And behind that is the one of the action track packs there.
Yep. Yep.
Next row down is accessories from Mexico.
Mexico.
And Mexico, and they're extremely rare,
Sure.
especially to be in the package. Now, they were called CIPSA, CIPSA,
I love it.
because they weren't allowed to import Hot Wheels at the time.
Really?
So they had, there's a whole, a whole thing about not being able to do it and stuff like that.
Got
So
it.
anything from that era is extremely
Wow.
extremely
So
rare.
I got to ask, that big wall art directly behind your head, it looks like kind of an uber cool monster truck. What's that about?
That is, it's called a Fathead. Now, a lot of sports guys know that they have, their favorite sports characters that they put up on their kid's wall or their
Right,
wall
right.
for their man cave. Fatheads did a few Hot Wheels, and
I'll
they
be
did the Hot
damned.
Wheels monster truck. So, of course, Fatheads sent me that, and I did an episode on it and put it up on the wall in my office. And so, yeah, I think it's a pretty cool backdrop.
I think it's kind of great. Hey, Rick, pull up. There's one more picture of his office. Now, this is when you sent. I'm going, dude. So I know how you spend your lunch hour.
We race a lot here at the house. My granddaughter is 6, and she got that for Christmas. And we race all the time.
Oh, too
We have a lot of
cool.
fun.
So, I
Yeah,
was going to ask you, just what's your family think of all this? And it sounds like you're just you're integrating the next generation.
Yes. My oldest son, he's 40. He collects. He does customs and things like that.
Wow.
My middle son, who is the dad of my granddaughter,
Got it?
he's not into them that much.
Got it.
But she is. She loves Hot Wheels. And if you've ever seen any of the episodes that I do, the first thing she wants to do is rip them open and play with them. And that's fine with me.
Right.
So
Wow.
we have a ball.
So we're talking
Yeah.
about Mattel Hot Wheels. Did you ever bump into Carson Lev?
Carson is a dear friend of
Yeah.
mine.
Yeah, mine too.
I
Yeah.
love Carson. Yeah. He and I go way, way back.
Yeah. I
And
figured as much.
yeah, super cool guy. He's helped me out an awful lot in many ways.
Yes.
So
Yeah, and yeah, Carson and I've been doing some phone tag, and he's all excited to come on the show. I think I was one of the auctioneers and MCs at SEMA, and so we'd be together when they unveiled one of the new conceptual builds. And my personal favorite, I think, out of all of them, is Twin Mill.
yes,
Yeah, when they had
definitely.
the full size version. Oh my good, had that
Yep.
I think it had a helicopter starter motor on it or something.
I don't know what it is, but I'm hoping someday I'm gonna get a ride in it.
Oh yeah, yeah,
I've watched Carson drive it,
yeah.
and now I've seen Brendan Vituski drive it. So hopefully, someday I'll get a ride in it. Maybe I get to drive it. That'd be
Ooh,
even
that'd be
better.
kind of cool. Because back in
Yeah.
the days when he was, with Mattel, and I'd see it, and I said, "Well, can I drive it?" And I guess the way they structured the insurance, only Carson could drive it.
Yeah.
Because if you got a whole bunch of motor in front, you got two whole bunches of motor in front of
Two
you.
of them.
Yeah, when you want to hit the loud pedal, but he's a really great guy. So I figured you guys had rubbed shoulders together.
Oh yeah, Carson and I have been together many, many years, and we've done many events together,
Cool.
and yeah, I've
So
been to his house many times.
Oh, 'cause so you're north of 30,000. Where in the
Yep.
world do you store them? I mean, everywhere?
I have a big house. I have about 2,500 square feet of storage at the house,
Oh my
and
goodness.
this is my Hot Wheel room here,
Sweet.
and I probably have a few thousand, maybe 4,000 cars on the walls, along with the track sets and things like that.
Oh my
So
goodness! Well,
yeah,
now you got to help me out because anybody who's around me very long, I'm a huge Mopar guy. Kind of grew up with the Hemis, and finally a few years ago, Mary and I acquired a '70 Superbird. We call her 2.0, 426 4-speed. A buddy of mine had got me a little collectible Hot Wheels Daytona, and he was so excited because it's a wing car. I didn't have the heart to tell him it wasn't a Superbird. So if you find a Superbird, let me know. We'll work a deal.
yeah. Well, Hot Wheels hasn't. Well, wait a minute. I think they did do a Superbird.
Really?
They might have. Yeah, yeah. Let me look because I know they did the Daytona,
Right.
and I want to say that they did the Superbird. I mean, there's if people ask me this all the time. Hey, I
Yeah.
got this car that's red and orange, and do you know what it is? No, I don't. But there are so many cars out there. But I do think that Hot
Ooh,
Wheels
okay.
did do a Superbird, and if I find one, I'll definitely
Yeah.
send it out to you.
Yeah. We'll work
Yeah,
something out. So where do you see?
not worried about it.
Oh, so I love asking some of these questions. So, sir, where do you see your collection in 5 years?
Right here. There, I go places. I go to the nationals. I go to the conventions, and of course there are hundreds. Even a couple of thousand people there.
Sure.
Each one of the events, people open up their room. They bring stuff to trade or sell,
Yeah.
and I can walk through as many as I can and have everything that's in there. So, finding things that I don't have has become, really, really rare for me.
Wow.
And
Okay.
then again, there's things that are really, really expensive
Yeah.
that I really don't want to, I mean, I've got a real truck that I'm building,
Ooh,
and
okay.
yeah, I'd rather put $2,000 into transmission on that
Yeah.
than
Oh
than a
yeah.
Hot Wheel that's going to sit on the shelf. So I love Hot Wheels, but I love real cars too.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's funny. I was at a convention here in Vegas just a couple of months ago, and it was like a version of the Hot Wheels, some of the different collectibles. And there's John D'Agostino, Shirley Muldowney, Von Hot Rods, all these legends of hot rodding. And these collectors, they enjoy them just as much as anybody else that
Yes.
you'd see it on NHRA racetrack. So to me, it's kind of universal, these collectors and their appreciation, everything goes on in hot rodding, including the celebrities like yourself.
Well, I think, everyone who collects Hot Wheels or any diecast car,
Yeah.
model cars, anything, are car people.
There you
And
go.
you'll
There you
find
go.
that car people who have real cars will also have a huge collection of toy cars.
Yeah.
And the thing about collecting toy cars is, I can have as many AC Cobras as I want. I can have a blue one, I can have a red one, and
Oh,
I
good
can
point.
put them all up on the shelf.
Good point.
Big black Corvettes, whatever you want, and they're not going to be $500,000.
Yeah.
So, toy collecting and real cars, they go hand in hand. And having Shirley and
Oh,
John
yeah.
D'Agostino there,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
they're car people.
Yeah.
I've got things that Shirley's a dear friend of mine.
Yes.
John has been here. There's a picture on the internet of John in this room.
Oh, cool.
John came to my house, and I had to fight him for my wife's mashed potatoes. So we love my wife's cooking.
Yep.
But it's car people, toy people, car people. We're all the same, and
Absolutely.
it's great to be able to talk to celebrities, like Shirley and
Yep.
and that about their collection. Because
Absolutely.
John had a huge collection.
Oh, yeah.
So
Well, it's interesting you mentioned it because I hadn't thought about it before, Mike. But when I go coverage, a lot of different hot road shows and the Grand National and different, and a lot of you'll see this beautiful restored '57 Chevy, and maybe on top of the air cleaner is a matching collectible '57 Chevy,
Always.
and right, and so yeah, there's a lot of connectivity. Yeah, recently I took John D'Agostino and Von Hot Rod to dinner. Those boys can eat, by the way. I think as you can attest.
Yep, yeah, definitely.
So where do you see this whole collection hobby, the lifestyle? Where do you see it going in the next few years? What kind of trends are coming up?
It's getting bigger.
Really?
You
Okay.
wouldn't think that it was.
Yeah.
There are a lot of younger collectors that are
Cool.
getting into, yeah, and that's an important thing too.
Yes.
I've sat on committees for Mattel for Hot Wheels.
Cool.
And some of the, yeah, I know. Can you believe that? But a lot of the talk is getting the younger collectors into collecting as much as the adult collectors, because someday they're going to be adult collectors. So right now the adult collector is only like 30 or 40% of the market, and the other part of the market is getting to grab the grandmothers or the mothers who buy stuff for the kid that says, I want a toy. And then you have to have something that the kid is going to like. So that's where a lot of the fantasy cars come in.
Oh, yeah.
My granddaughter likes dinosaurs, things like that. So those
I
and
love
pink cars. She loves anything pink.
Oh,
So,
there you go. There you go.
Yeah, it is growing with the younger collectors.
Excellent.
So yeah, and
Very, very
there's
cool.
more track sets and play sets, and of course more events. So
Excellent. Well, we're talking about cars, and I think we've got a couple of examples just to let the viewers know that you really are a hot rodder guy. So that
that's my street truck. Yep,
yeah, that's your street truck.
my street truck.
Well, I noticed she's kind of tubbed in the back. I think she's got a little bit of
Yep.
rollers on the rear axle. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, those are the biggest tires I could find to fit under that truck.
So, what do you have under the hood, bud?
It's 355. It's got a 500-inch cam in it. It got a gear drive. It's got 10 and a half, maybe 10 3/4 compression aluminum heads,
Right.
and one 4-barrel with a turbo 350 with a 3200 style converter.
So
So,
she launches pretty good.
Oh yeah, it goes.
Well, I think we have a couple more picks here of some past. Now,
There's my girl.
this is what I refer to as a stab and steer, right? You pray it goes straight.
exactly. Those cars, they're like a frog. Like
Yes.
like a bullfrog.
Yes.
Once you point it in one direction and stab that throttle, you just hang on for dear life.
Yes.
And people always told me if I ever saw my car leave, I'd never drive it again because, yeah, yeah,
Oh yeah.
it was that crazy. But I loved it,
Oh yeah.
and it was just so much fun.
And if I remember that body style, it was kind of like Topolino was like Italian for little mouse or something. It's
No,
there's
no,
all
not this one. No, this is a T bucket or a turtle deck T.
turtle. Got it.
The
Okay, gotcha.
the
Wow.
Topolino was a little Fiat,
Got
and
yeah.
that was a full body,
Yeah.
over the cage car.
There you go. So, what kind of motor are we looking at there, Bud? That looks kind of serious.
That one there was pretty much the same as what's in my truck right now.
Okay. Oh, okay.
It's a 355, got a roller cam in it. I think that had 11 and a half compression to it, and it screamed, and it had a power glide.
Oh, yep,
So
absolutely. Well, back then, that's what everybody wanted to use because they're about
yes,
bulletproof.
yep,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. You only had a couple of seconds to shift it, so that was it. It
So,
was a lot of fun. I won a lot of races with it. Had a good time with it.
oh yeah. So for our viewers that in the world of Hot Wheels, you'll have lots of people do the racing, a lot of people collecting. Not too many people have their race car become a Hot Wheels, and we have evidence of that now. So how did this
Yeah.
come about, Bud?
Man, I was talking to Mark Morris, who was in charge of Hot Wheels at the time.
Right.
He called me up. We were talking on the phone, and one thing led to another. And he says, "Hey, have you heard about the new drag strip Demon series that we're going to be doing?" And I said, "Yeah, it's going to be awesome. You guys are doing Larry Larson's car, not Larry Larson, Bruce Larson's car.
Right.
You're going to be doing Shirley's car, the snake and the mongoose. And,
Yeah.
and the cool thing about that is that they were going to be doing them exactly how they were back in the day.
Perfect.
All the right decals, all the right colors, and that's really important." And I said, "Man, it'd be really cool to do my old race car, And he just blew it off. And we just kept talking and, went on. About a week later, he calls me up. He says, "Hey, were you serious about doing your old race car as a Hot Wheel?"
And you're going,
And I
well,
said, "Let me
yeah.
think about it." Yes. I said, "Oh, yeah, are you kidding me?" He says, "All right, well, send us some pictures, and we'll send you all the legal paperwork,
Right.
and
Right.
we'll do it. We'll add it to the Drag Strip Demons."
Oh my
And I said,
gosh.
"Okay, cool." And I hung up the phone, and I was like, "Did that really just happen?" You know? I looked on the
Wow.
phone, and it
Yeah.
was like, yeah,
Oh my
Mark
gosh.
called, and so, and
It's
then,
it's happening.
like, yeah, again, like with Guinness, 9 months later, I get these two big boxes on my doorstep, and there are, 1,000 or so
Oh my
Mike
gosh.
Zarnock's Altered Roadsters.
Good.
And it was like,
Good for you.
oh, wow, you got to be kidding me.
That's
So,
kind.
yeah, it was crazy.
That's what
Absolutely
we
crazy.
call that rare air, right? Well, before we get you
Oh,
out of
man.
here, kind of looking beyond your lens, so to speak. So we have all kinds of viewers, and so if we have a younger viewer or somebody who's maybe getting ready to retire, if they really are excited about becoming a collector, what kind of advice would you have for them?
First thing I want you to do is collect what you like. Don't collect for money. Don't collect to resell anything. Collect what's going to make you happy.
Oh,
It's a
perfect.
hobby, okay? Don't get crazy with it. Don't make the rent payment, and
There you
because
go.
you're going to buy a Hot Wheel. You know, buy things within your budget, and enjoy the hobby. Hobbies are supposed to be fun.
There you
And
go.
if it's not fun and you get crazy with it and things happen, don't that's it. It's not for you. So yeah, if you're gonna collect Hot Wheels, have
Go.
fun with it.
I,
And
I,
if you want to make money, put your money in the bank.
there
Don't
you
buy
go.
Hot Wheels.
I'm kind of chuckling because I'm just realizing over what would be your left shoulder. Is that a cutout of you? What is up with
Yes.
that? That is you.
My my best friend Chris Walker. If you come to any events, Chris and I get together. We create havoc throughout the
Nice.
whole place. And we were in Chicago a couple years back,
Right.
and I walked into his hotel room, and there I was. So yeah,
Oh, I love it.
that's me, and that cutout was all over the hotel. It was in the elevators. It was looking out windows. It was
Oh,
everywhere, and it
beautiful.
was just a great time with that. So yeah, we do all kinds of stuff like that
Cool.
at all the events.
And you're having fun. So when you look at your Rolodex of history, who's been one of your favorite mentors that helped with your trajectory to where you're at now in life?
Um, with Hot Wheels or just anything. I mean,
All of
um,
it. Yeah.
I've gotten to meet so many. It's funny you said Rolodex. Rolodex. I was going through my phone the other day, and I've got like, well, Shelby is no longer around, but
Right.
Shelby's phone number. I got Foos's phone number.
I love it.
I got Snake's cell
Yep.
phone.
Yep.
It's crazy
Good.
the
Cool.
amount of people that I grew up. I mean, Shirley calls me up. George Barris used to
Yes.
call me up.
Yeah.
You know, and Tom Daniel. Here I was looking for Tom Daniel models when I um,
Wow.
found Hot Wheels. So
Very cool.
picking one of those people
Might be
would be
tough.
really hard. You know,
All right,
so
before we get out of here, I got two more questions for you, and they don't get any
okay.
easier, Michael. So I'm just queuing you up right now, buddy. So what's some of your favorite automotive memories?
Uh, uh, Going to the drag strip as a kid.
Cool. Cool.
You
Yes.
know,
You bet.
Actually, my altered I bought from the guys that I used to watch when I was a kid.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
yeah, and meeting guys like Garlitz and
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Shirley,
Yes.
and then
Yes.
and then becoming friends with them later
Yes.
on.
Yes.
I've had a blessed life,
Good for you,
an
brother.
amazing life.
Good for you, man.
So yeah, it's just having my real race car become a Hot Wheel, and of course being able
Oh,
to
yeah.
do what I do, do all of the TV
Oh, yeah.
stuff for Hot Wheels.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so if I died tomorrow,
You'd be
my
happy.
life is definitely fulfilled, and yeah, I could not have asked for anything more. I'd have never dreamed that
Cool.
this would happen to me because of Hot Wheels.
And I think part of it is just a testimonial to your character, your commitment to this hobby, and your passion. Hey, I got one more question, but before we get to the
All right,
end of
one
this,
more.
so how do people get a hold of you?
We talked earlier about me being a dinosaur. Mike Zarnock at AOL.com. I have a website, MikeZarnock.com.
Perfect.
And of course, you can watch stuff on Hot Wheels TV on YouTube. So
Excellent.
I'm real easy. Just look up, Mike Hot Wheels, and my name and pictures show up. So
That'd be
I'm real easy to
perfect.
get a hold of.
Excellent. So the last question, I promise this will be the last one. It's probably not the easiest one. Setting aside from your amazing collection of over 30,000 vehicles, what's your favorite automobile?
Um, you know, it used to be
Hmm.
67 Corvette Coupe,
Whoo!
427 tri-power car.
Yes, sir.
Um,
Yes, sir.
until they remade the Copo Camaro. I
Really?
will take a 2012 up to now Copo Camaro, and I will find a way to put that baby on the street and just have a ball with it. So
Everybody kind of essentially anywhere in the Western Hemisphere, if you get this figured out, you're going to drive it all the time. So be forewarned, right? Just
yeah,
if
if I pull up next to you in a
yeah,
white Camaro
yeah.
with blue letters on the back that says Copo, you just better go home.
Just avoid eye contact. Let you leave first. That's right.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'll let them leave first. I don't care. Talking a 7-second car on the street, I'll take it.
I love it. Well, Mike Zarnock, we cannot thank you enough for being on the show with us and sharing your history and your perspective. And you truly are a well-deserved title of one of the best in the world on Hot Wheels. And your passion and your commitment to this hobby is second to none. And again, it's been thrilled to have you on the show, man.
I appreciate it. It's been a ball being here. Thanks for
Cool.
having me.
You bet. You have a good weekend.
I'm going to work on that.
All right.
I got to work on my truck.
You got to work on your truck. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is Mike Kinney here at Car Stars and Roll Bars. And you never know who's going to be on with us next, but I'll guarantee you one thing. We're always going to have a good time, and you might even learn something. And until next time, enjoy the ride.